All right, Rick's About the Morning Show. Hey, Jeff Johnson is here this morning with 3 things that you need to know. Jeff, good morning, man.
Good morning to everybody. Man, I'm glad to be with you all. Listen, I got 3 things for you. First, Donald Trump actually might be the architect of his own undoing. And I'm not just talking about the 385 million cases against him and the indictments and all of that. I think that Putin is going to be tough for him. One of the things that many of you, and you all talked about a little bit earlier for a second, is that, you know, there are Republicans right now that are, you know, pro-Trump, who are, you know, pulling back from their extending the military lifeline to the Ukraine and even entertaining his NATO talks. But there's some principled Republicans that know that's not really good for America, and it's not good for the country. It's not good for our foreign policy. We already are an unreliable ally because so much of what we now do is not rooted in what happens through our laws, but whoever is in the White House. But to create a narrative of destroying NATO and ultimately showing that you'll do whatever Putin wants you to do, it is not really America first. So even those Republicans who are anti-Trump but still have a sense of American pride recognize that removing yourself from NATO and aligning yourself with Putin is not America first. It's Russia first. And so it's going to be interesting to see how in all of these fault lines, what this looks like. His rhetoric is crazy. And again, there are some reasonable Republicans that are tired of this and think in the long term this isn't in the best interest of the United States at all. So I'm curious to see how that in particular plays out, because that's another part of that piece that starts siphoning off some of his base. I was really interested in this whole conversation about Fannie Willis and this paying cash piece. I remember, Rick, my first job out of college I was a mortgage broker. And one of the things that I used to have to do on a regular basis was talk to underwriters about how black men and women over a certain age were not going to have a certain amount of money in a checking and savings account because they were going to have cash at the house, because there was a cultural value proposition of what it meant. And we literally had to train underwriters to say, listen, they can prove of the income, they can prove that they have this certain amount of money coming in, and it aligns with how much they have in a mattress at the house or in a safe at the house. And in this day and time, with the level of cybersecurity that's needed just to protect you on your debit card, I don't think it's a bad idea for us to continue to think about the value of having cash in a safe space and utilizing cash and recognizing, even though the dollar isn't as strong as it should be, that having cash still is a old school proposition for safety and security. And it reminded me of how our grandparents used to roll. Like if you had a grandparent or a great aunt or uncle die, you literally had to go through everything in the house before you threw anything away to make sure you wasn't throwing away cash that was in a book or under some pillowcases or somewhere else. There is a value proposition to us understanding how we leverage cash. And for those of you that are super old school, other kind of valuable assets. So I hope it's something that we talk about even more. It's not just a black thing. I think it is an old school thing for those that just don't trust technology, don't trust banks, don't trust institutions. And no, how many of y'all remember that when the pandemic first started, people started saying, how much cash do I need to take out? How much do I need to have in a safe at the house? Because if everything goes to hell, even though the American dollar is insane, I want to have them greenbacks as opposed to that plastic card. And so it's a conversation that I think we do have to continually have, even beyond this notion of what's happening. Rick, before I get out of here, man, somebody asked me what I was thankful for today. And I said to them, I'm thankful to be on this morning show. And it's not just you. Like I literally remember being at the BET Hip Hop Awards, and the first time Brat recognized me, and like I was like, damn, Brat knows who I am, because I was just such a huge fan, and I have been like straight up, like I have. Listen, y'all,
know you.
All of us know. But check this out. All of us know. All of us remember a time that we were coming up, and people were knowing us, but we didn't know who really knew us, right. And we didn't know who really recognized us, and like that was a thing for me, Brad. Like for real, because there are certain people in the industry who I respect because of how they move, and that was you. And like when you recognized me and we talked. Like, that was a big deal for me.
Absolutely.
Like, Maria and Rock T, when I think about you all and how inspirational you are on this show and how that is just a fraction of what you actually do in the community and you actually do with your spouses and you actually do with your family, it's nuts. Special K, brother, listen, you personify complexity.
Nothing.
No, he personifies complexity. Stop hating, Rick. And you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for K. And Gary, man, listen, people don't even know how long you've been in this game and how many people that tried to take you out and you survived all of them. And that's so right. I am honored to be a part of this morning show crew because of all of you. Thank you so much. I'm out. Y'all hit me at Jeff's Nation.
Love you, Jeff.